Ready to inspire others? Let's start our speaking journey with clarity and confidence because every great speech begins with a clear map. I would like to pass over to our coordinator, Uniati. Uniati, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Tamami. Warm welcome, everyone. We are in week 2 of our speech craft. And I remember when I was young, I learned English. It's not from young age. I learned when I was 13 years old. And unfortunately, my teacher wasn't engaged enough. He made me confused. I don't learn much. When he come in the class, everyone already scared because he will point out to somebody and ask question, and we are blurred, doesn't know what to answer. In the second years, I was so lucky. We have different teacher who teach us with full of engagement. He used music, he tells stories, and role playing. It gives us more clarity and give opportunity for us to learn better. And today, we all as speaker, we will learn most important thing as a speaker, a skill that some of us maybe already have naturally, but some of us has to learn it. That is how to engage with anyone. So let's us listen, take note, and later on we will practice in our speaking, in our speech. And let's the speechcraft begin. Back to you, Tamam.
All right, everyone, let's start. Could your presentation be more persuasive? Again? Yes. Do you want to authentically engage your listeners? And it is time to elevate your communication to the next level. Learn simple techniques you will use in every conversation. Sorry, excuse me, my PC is a bit frozen. Just a moment.
Shall I assist?
It's okay now. Join Toastmasters during a speech craft and very shy, crying through her first few speeches. Today, distinguished Sheryl Roush is an internationally top-rated speaker. She is the CEO of Sparkle Presentations, based in New York, and a business communications expert. In 1993, she became the youngest woman in the world to earn the professional designation of Accredited Speaker. In 2009, she received Toastmaster Presentational Citation for enhancing global communication and leadership. As a world traveler and communication expert, She has spoken around the globe, including Australia, the Bahamas, Bahrain, Canada, England, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Mexico, Ireland, Qatar, and Singapore, plus stamping her virtual passport, presenting online since 2010 for Africa, Vietnam, Turkey, and more. Sheryl was also the director of trainer for the U.S. Olympic Training Center, coaching U.S. Olympians in public speaking, skill, and storytelling. Sheryl is the author of the Heart of Toastmaster book, which received the Best Anthology Award from International Book Awards, publishing true stories by 135 global members. Sharing with us how to speak to influence and inspire others, and the 7 secrets connect with anyone. Let's welcome back to World Travelers, Sheryl Roush.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome, welcome. My goodness, let's see, bienvenue. Let's see, ciao an. Oh, goodness, everywhere that we are. I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this invitation. Eliza, thank you. This is our passport to public speaking, and I have my passport right here. And it needs some stamps, but it's a good thing that we are passportless at World Travelers. So thank you, thank you, thank you. In the chat, there is the handout to download. You are going to want to have a copy of that, and I'll give some suggestions on how to properly use that. So again, it's my honor to be here and tell you some of what my passport journey has been like as you're downloading the handout. This is me. It's cute, right? I'm probably like 3 years old, painfully shy, absolutely shy. I know you may be surprised to hear that from me today, but thanks to Toastmasters, I was able to overcome that shyness. And part of my journey then was when I joined Toastmasters during a Speechcraft program, just like you did for World Travelers. Welcome, welcome, new members and Speechcrafters. This is the restaurant where I joined. Past International President Pat Johnson snapped this photo for me, and that is where I walked through the doors March 19th, 1987. Yes, long time ago. I've been around, but I would not be doing anything that I'm doing today. 17-time published author, speaking around the globe, everything that and the coaching, had it not been for gaining confidence and finding myself, finding my authenticity, finding my subject matter expertise, thanks to Toastmasters. And you have your story, your passport, your journey. This is part of mine. Whenever we can, we need to speak outside of Toastmasters. Learn the skills inside, take them outside into business organizations. As a result of my topic and owning my own business, many of you are business owners, then I started writing books, including this one that Toastmasters International featured specifically for creating marketing for Toastmasters. And larger stages, this one with only 2 weeks notice, I stepped in for a speaker who needed to step off of the international convention. Always have your passport with at least 6 months expiration before it, because I was able to accept this 850 people in that conference workshop. My largest to date, though, is 5,000 people in a large sports arena. And not just one keynote closing presentation. 4 days later, another 5,000 people. Again, thanks to Toastmasters. So keep in mind that Toastmasters really is your passport to public speaking. and communication skills. And that's what we'll look at. I've had the privilege of speaking on programs with some names you might know, including I opened for Marie Osmond, closed for Gina Davis. I sang the day that Olivia Newton-John spoke, but she did not sing. Oh, goodness. Jane Seymour out of Canada. And let's see, we also have Susie Orman, so financier. You never know where the passport of public speaking from Toastmasters is going to take you. So I love this photo from Northern Vietnam. Through better communication, we can help create better understanding, and understanding is what this world needs. This is quoted from our founder, Dr. Ralph C. Smedley, when he created our organization in 1924. And that's what Speechcraft, Toastmasters, and this session are all committed to. You will be able to use these persuasive techniques that you learn in the next 40 minutes to help prepare and give feedback to others, to help manage teams, tasks, and projects, to facilitate productive meetings, interviewing other people as well as being interviewed, and networking with business partners, vendors, even sales and marketing efforts. All of this is the gold in the passport. Dr. Kenneth Blanchard, who is one of the Golden Gavel Award recipients from Toastmasters International and the co-author of The 1 Minute Manager, said that the key to successful leadership today is influence, not authority. This program today focuses on influence. So let's jump in. Hopefully you have downloaded the handout, and I'll walk you through how to use it, how I would suggest using it. And there are nearly 40 years of experience and research that went into the worksheet that I'm going to gift you today. There are 7 main listening channels that you and I listen to, and so do everyone else, when we are paying attention to a presenter, a coworker, even our significant others and our friends, like when we celebrate our birthdays, right, Eliza? All right, so here are the basic channels. Then we will break it down. In speaking, this is referred to as an overview of the segment. So the first channel is linguistic. These people need words. Group number 2 is mathematical. They need numbers. Group number 3, we're visual. We need to see it. Group number 4 are musical, which is how we hear things. Group number 5 is kinesthetic, of how we sense things. Number 6 is interpersonal. These are people. And group number 7, intrapersonal. We are more of the thinkers. Now let's take a closer look at each one of these. My research was done from Howard Gardner and Thomas Armstrong, PhDs, in early childhood education. And I've brought these together for us as adults so that we can learn these and use these. It changes relationships. This is the worksheet that is in the handout that you can download from the chat. Jasmine, thank you very much. And here's how I suggest using this. Print out a copy for every Pathways project, every presentation, every team meeting, perhaps that you have at work in your organizations, and make some notes in the worksheet. Up at the top, you can date it and what the presentation is about. In each presentation, regardless of how long or how brief, we need to include each of these 7 channels. So we'll take a closer look at each one. As an example, number 1 with linguistic is words. In the middle column are what that listener needs from us when we are speaking. Then the worksheet allows you to put down some ideas and some examples. Because this is my original research and copyrighted piece, 40 years went into this, I give you permission to use it to prepare your presentation, but you may not use my worksheet in your presentation. Fair enough? Thank you. A lot of work went into this, and I give it to you with a lot of love. Let's take a closer look at each one of these, and how can we be of greater influence and inspiring others? I believe that we need to meet people where they are, which means speak on their channels. And here's how this relates to us. Our preferred channels may not be the same as those who are listening to us. We need to make sure to tune in, listen to them, follow their cues, and we will be able to match and mirror and to provide them which channels that they need to listen on. Let's take a closer look at each one. So this is on the worksheet, giving an overview and some examples. The very first group then is linguistic. Their gift are words. They love stories, discussion, books. Last week we had Kadri, and this is a copy of his book. And yes, I did contribute to his book. So much of the chapter on virtual presentations that I had provided to Kadri and to Dilla. So you love books, brainstorming, storytelling, you know, and how to use and the differences of metaphors, analogies, acrostics, mnemonics. You know what each of those are. I've also found from speaking around the globe that you're quick learners of foreign languages and terminology. If you find yourself that this is your channel and words are really important to you, you have a great memory for trivia, that if this is you, you know the differences between effect and affect. You probably also speak more than one language. Is that true? Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's it's one of your gifts because you tap into words, semantics. That's your gift. Your that is how you correspond, how you best connect with other people. Linguistic people and our audiences who are linguistic need quotations. So this is already the fourth quotation in just a few slides. This is for you. So Dr. Stephen Covey, another Golden Gavel Award recipient from Toastmasters International and the author of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, said that to seek first to understand, then to be understood. So a speaking tip here for us is when we are using quotations, stories, and examples, is to make sure that they are directly relevant to our topic and respective to our audience. So seek first. Kadri last week also gave us one of his formulas of how to prepare a presentation with his brew method. Yes, he's a big lover and a connoisseur of coffee. So this is, I would say that this is an acrostic because every letter represents something in his formula. That's what an acrostic does. So brainstorm, research, experience, and write. It was a great presentation by him. Get a chance to watch the video. So group number 1 needs words, and they can be prepared for that listener in black and white. Group number 2 now needs numbers. Now, look at these numbered items to describe the mathematical channel because they're not bullet points, are they? They are numbered. That's what this group needs. They look for the patterns, relationships. Things need to be in sequential order. They need the facts, statistics, and details. Is this you? Are you a numbers person? Because you are great with being the club treasurer. That's your superpower. Mathematical, if you are in accounting and bookkeeping in your job or in your life, you can tell if numbers are off even by a fraction. That's your gift. So what are some of our numbers in Toastmasters International? We have over 260,000 members and notice I'm not going to say almost 14,000 because mathematical want the exact numbers. So in 13,800 clubs in 150 countries, over 40 million people have been influenced by the Toastmasters International program as members since 1924. We are one global community, our family. These are current statistics. Always sort this ice as this does. So numbers, that's mathematical. Now, group number 3, you're like me. We're visual. Notice that I match, my colors match the slides. Ooh, I'm a very high visual. I need to see things. So do our visual listeners. They need the charts, the graphs, the diagrams, the symbols, everything in color, the photographs. They need to have visual representation of what it is you're talking about. As an example, and this is from one of our major universities in the United States, University of Pennsylvania. So last year's convention was in Philadelphia. And right there, how important are visuals to our listeners? You might want to capture a screenshot of this one for the statistic on it. Visuals make presentations more persuasive by 43%. They make 87% more comprehensible and increase the retention of that information 14 to 38%. So if you are thinking, Sheryl, I don't really need to use slides, that may be true. Maybe you don't need to use them. However, visual people like me, we need to see what it is that you're talking about. And if you're not using slides, then your body language must absolutely be illustrative for us to follow. So as an example, when working with clients, if I were to name names of some of the organizations, as in Southeast Asia, then you may recognize some of the names, but if I show you their logos, then you instantly connect. Big difference. Group number 4, musical. Now you might be thinking, oh, I don't play music. However, our listeners may be paying attention to our vocal variety. This person may be putting music as a frame of reference, from a sing, a hum, a chant, a whistle. This may be your superpower, by the way. So you might link tunes to concepts or to memories. How interesting that the cat came up and I have a cat that just started singing. I thought she was down for her nap. Anyway, so you might be thinking, how does this tie in? When I opened for Marie Osmond and Olivia Newton-John, I sang that day. Neither of them did. I started singing a song without music in the background that tied directly into the topic matter. And even though I am not a singer, I would not consider myself a singer at all. The musical influence of that helped inspire the listeners. So, how can we do that in our regular speaking? With our vocal variety, through the cadence with which we speak, the pacing, the pausing, the intonation. All of this ties in to create music to the listener's ear. Does that make sense? You can do that. Yes. All right. So that's group number 4. Group number 5. These are the people who love to do the high fives. Yes, because they're very much in touch, with their senses. These people love to do activities. You may even have a standing desk. So instead of being seated for your virtual presentations, you would love to go and see places. This happens to be Singapore. So if you're thinking, I know that place, yes, you do. So now we've tied in visual with kinesthetic, which helps remind us that we can combine more of these channels than just one. And ideally, we do want to do at least 4 or 5, perhaps even all 7 of the channels, even during a 5 to 7 minute presentation. So kinesthetic, they need to see it, go and have the experience. Number 6, this type of listener, very interactive. So let's combine group number 1, linguistic, with group number 6, interpersonal. Now we have dynamic brainstorming, a lot of creativity, because linguistic talking and sharing and the interpersonal, people. In Toastmasters, our interpersonal, this might be you, we arrive early and we stay late. We participate in the chat and in everything that we can, very people oriented. Yes, you know people like that? Are you a person like this? Because we need to have you in our club executive positions as VP of membership, VP of public relations, VP of education, across the board. That's your gift. So you're people. Nelson Mandela said that if you talk to a man in language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. And that's what this is about, is speaking to people's heart. Now, group number 7, these are the thinkers. It doesn't mean that they don't like people. It means that they do need time to themselves to process. And what that might mean for you, if you are an intrapersonal listener and learner, that after this session, you will take the worksheet and you will sit down, analyze it, maybe assimilate the information, and then start applying it. What I've also noticed that intrapersonal are those who have fantastic questions. So yes, we're doing Q&A right after this message, that you've thought things through and you have brilliant questions to answer. That could be your style. So as presenters, we need to empower our listeners, giving them permission that if you think of something that hasn't been covered, please pop me an email, reach out to me on LinkedIn, ask those questions as you think about this. And if this is your boss or your supervisor or client and they say, let me think about it, do. Let them think about it because they need that alone time. All right, so you've probably found yourself in each of these 7 groups, yes, and you've probably determined that you are more than one of these. And again, this is a summary slide, just like the first one was an overview. This is a summary recap of this section, pulling it all together. So group number 1, we learned that they need words, semantics, terminology, very important to them. Group number 2, mathematical, they need messages and instructions in sequential order. So if you have 5 things to discuss, they need to be in 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5. And when you get to 5, you can't go back to number 2 because you would lose credibility. So mathematical, make sure your numbers. This was my weakest area, by the way. For my corporation, I have bookkeepers, certified public accountants. They handle that side of things, but then I'm visual. I need them to show me what the numbers represent. So for mathematical, I realized that if I was not including numbers, facts, statistics in my presentations, I was not speaking to that preferred channel of listener. That means that could be 1/7 of the audience. So for instance, if with group number 4, musical, 5 kinesthetic, 6 interpersonal, and 7 interpersonal, what might that mean in an interview or you are submitting a proposal for a new project and you approach your supervisor, and if not all 7 of these channels are engaged with that proposal, we may not influence or inspire fully what we want that person to accept in our recommendations. We need to incorporate their channels, regardless of what our own preferred channels are. That's what I learned about doing this research is, oh, area number 2 is my weakest area, then I need to boost it. So I ensure that in every presentation, I include each of these 7. So again, meet people where they are and speak on their channels. And here's the guiding tips. One-on-one, communicate on their channels. This relates to coaching, interviewing, proposals, sales, across the board. Communicate on their levels. And they will give you hints or tips or cues of what they might be. And you can guess. If they say, can you give me the facts? They're looking for statistics. Let me hear those numbers. That's mathematical. If they say, can you show me what you mean? That's visual. That's group number 3. I'll give you an idea. If they challenge a word, if it's one word that you say and then they correct it, thank you, then you know that their area number 1, their channel is linguistic. So what happens when we're speaking in teams and groups and online presentations? We need to incorporate each of the 7 different channels so that we are not missing out on anyone. So when you use this worksheet then, please, if you would, in the chat box, pop me a note and go ahead and chat to everyone. How will you use these communication channels to influence and to inspire others? And as you're lighting up the chat, thank you, I can share with you how I use the worksheet for this presentation today. As an example, for linguistic, then there are several different languages of our speech crafters and our guests attending from around the world. So for instance, Trace is from Mexico, and it is daytime there. So I may say, Oh, let's see. Buenos tardes, ¿cómo está, señorita? Muy bonita. So it's beautiful. And let's see, in the Philippines right now, it is evening. So I may say, maganda gabi po, which is good evening in the most formal of tenses. So it could be that we tap into the different languages. Whenever I would travel abroad, using my passport and getting stamps, I would start picking up some of the language. So I love from Bahasa Malay, from Malaysia, that instead of saying goodbye, they say, and it's similar to German, auf Wiedersehen, see you again. In Bahasa Malay, it's jumpa lagi. So, how are we connecting with other people? With group number 2, this club is a member of District 80 in the world of Toastmasters. And if we were to give a 6-minute presentation, and here's a formula of how do you map out the opening, the body, and the closing. Here's the formula for that: that the opening of a presentation accounts for 10% of the overall time. The body accounts for 80% of the allotted time, and that the conclusion or closing, debrief, or summary also accounts for 10% of the overall time. So that's group number 2. Visual, you saw the merlion from Singapore. And I remember clearly speaking in Singapore, and I want to say it's on Orchard Row, Orchard Place, beautiful hotels and convention centers over there. Orchids growing everywhere in Singapore, absolutely stunning. With musical, it could be the intonation. Oh, with group number 5, as an example, in Singapore and giving big public seminars on marketing, like 350, 400 people attending. That was the first time I ever had Tim Tams, chocolate covered biscuits. Oh my gosh, favorite cookie in the entire world. Thank you, Singapore, for Tim Tams. I love it. All right, so let's take a look at the chat box and how are you going to be using this? Let me see some of your notes here. Thank you. You Tim Tams, yay! I should give you my shipping address. I love them. All right, this is good. Okay, so Elios, thank you, and thank you for your promotion of this event. You're highly visual, by the way, with the fantastic video that you created, and then musical. So you're combining your groups 3 and 5 and beautifully to that. All right, good. Thank you. All right, so most of your speeches, it's true, are 5 to 7 minutes. And yes, you can still use slides and still use the 7 different channels, definitely. All right, because people need it. People need it. All right, I am looking for. I know Tim Tams do come from Australia, but I was in Singapore to find that, and I have relatives in Australia. Good eye, mate. Yep, they are. And there's, oh gosh, I think 20 different flavors of Tim Tams. Then there's a Tim Tam Slam and Tim Tam Truffles. Oh yes, I know my chocolate. There we go. Got it. All right. So thank you that you'll use it as a checklist for every speech, ensuring that it touches. You can also use this in writing, by the way. Yes, checklist, great. All right. So then my tip to you then is to start paying attention of how people are communicating with you. Because for us to inspire and influence others, we need to meet them where they are and then respond accordingly. And as we have the merlion sending us out with our passports, my tip for you and my wish for you is to express your voice in the world. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Cheryl, for a wonderful presentation. It was eye-opening for me for those 7 secrets. Really, I will use that for sure for my next speech and my presentation at work, probably, yes. Now we have question and answer session. We will take any question from the floor. You can raise hand and I will call you. Oh, Surya, please.
Okay, thank you, Tamami. Hello, Sheryl.
Good day.
Nice to meet
Good
you.
evening.
Good evening. You said that in presentation to audience, we use all the channel so we don't miss one. Yeah. But how about if we do a personal conversation? How we know people's channel from conversation process? ongoing.
Thank you. So you're a coach, correct? You do
Okay,
coaching?
yes,
You do.
yes.
Okay. Your clients will give you clues. So if I say to you, how do you charge for your coaching service? That would give you a hint they're either linguistic or mathematical. If they have a follow-up question of what is your hourly rate, that's mathematical.
Oh,
If they say to you, I hear you are a great coach. How can you help me feel more confident? They're kinesthetic because they're going with feeling. To me, this is the simplified 7 of neurolinguistic programming 3. Tony Robbins made it famous, but it was Bandler and Grindler who did the original research of that we have visual people and our eyes look up. So you may have noticed if you were watching my eyes, I'm highly visual. So what happens is in the brain, the neuroscience behind this is the eyes tap into where the information is stored in our brain. So my eyes visual, let me show you what I mean. My eyes are going to be going up. If I am telling you a story or I'm relating facts or a quotation, my eyes may go side to side. There's more in depth to that with neurolinguistic programming, NLP. But the people who are also tapping into their feelings, their eyes go down. So when you ask a client, how do you feel about that? You are commanding, you are suggesting that they drop into their heart to be honest with how they feel. Same thing from NLP into the simplified 7. Pay attention to the cues. And even if we're not correct the first time, we will be correct the next time with that person because they will say, oh, well, you know, that feelings are irrelevant. Yeah, okay, they're not going kinesthetic. They may say, well, let me explain it to you this way. And they tell you a story, they hopped right back into linguistic.
okay. So we can identify from their choice of word and adding
Words
it.
and how it's presented. And how it's
Okay.
presented. So, for instance, your kinesthetic are going to be almost Italiano in their
Ah,
expression.
expression.
Or you should if you were at dinner with me last night and the shrimp scampi on the angel hair pasta, it was the most delicious, smooth, I mean, kinesthetic. And I did, by the way, I went out
Oh,
to a birthday and that's what I had for dinner. So but paying attention, they'll tell us how to best communicate with them without even knowing. And this is not manipulative. This is authentic. This is authentic. This is meeting people where they are. Great question. Thank you.
thank you.
Hi, Cheryl.
Yes. Al, is it? Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Hi, I'm from Malaysia anyway. Anyway, thanks for the inspiring speech, the 7 tips. How do we incorporate jokes and make sure that our jokes is funny and catchy in our speeches?
Thank you. Regarding jokes. Oh my goodness. Okay. So with jokes, first of all, make sure it's relevant. It must be relevant to the topic and appropriate to the audience. If not, do not insert a joke just to try to be funny. It has to relate. Then be real with what it is. And it would be ideal if the joke and the humor is from your own experience, not repeating someone else's. All right, so let me hand this back to you then, Al. Based on these 7 channels, which channels represent jokes or stories?
Probably number 1, linguistic.
It does, definitely. What else could it be?
Kinesthetic. So sometimes you
It
do like
could.
actions and your hands and all that, your facial
And
expressions.
yes, and when we're laughing, that's us in touch with kinesthetics. Okay, great. What else?
Mm,
So we have
Connecting,
linguistic.
interpersonal, connecting with
In
the people.
yes, It also could be visual. And if there's numbers in the joke, there's mathematical. You could have 5, 6 right there in one joke. Now, if people don't laugh at the joke, they might be group number 7. Sorry. They might be number 7. We're thinking about it. And that's okay too. Because then they may, on the drive home after hearing your speech, they may be laughing just out of the blue because they just got it.
You're slow thinkers.
Great question. Thank you.
Anyone else?
We
Hi,
have time for a
Go
couple
ahead.
more. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hi, Cheryl. This is Maggie from Hong Kong. And
Hi, Maggie.
I heard that you have come to Hong Kong to give talk.
6 or 7 times. 6 or 7 times.
Wow. I
Mhm.
really loved your topic today because I am a primary teacher. And for students, of course, I teach primary. So sometimes I had to meet where the students is. When you are teaching little one, like year 1, you use different energy. You suddenly feel like yourself as a kid. But when you go to year 6, you had to adjust yourself because they don't want to see, being that animated. So students will always say they're a different kind of learner. So it's very much what you are talking about today. So what my question is, sometimes I know all these techniques, but how can I have some practice? Let's say every day 10 minutes can help me to really to consolidate or to incorporate this into either my speech or my teaching. So will you give me some suggestions on how do I practice on daily basis? It's like if I go to gym, quite often. I know what to do, but I know the tennis now, but I don't know how do I practice.
I have a book. I just pulled up my laptop. I had this right under my How interesting. All right, so this book must be for you. It is called The Best of Multiple Intelligences Activities from Teacher Created Materials. Maggie, this
Wow.
must be for you. And it
Yes.
covers, all right, so the spatial is very visual, interpersonal. And so my research came from Howard Gardner and Thomas Armstrong, primarily Howard Gardner from his early childhood education. All right, boy, I think you're going to, I'm looking to see if there is an author. I am not seeing that. Look up Teacher Created Materials.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I know the
I-
website. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. This is an ISBN number 15769, and you can pull this up off the recording, dash
Yeah.
464-4. So look for any activities related to the multiple intelligences, and that's exactly what you'd like. Brian Tracy, one of my colleagues, has also done research and materials on using the multiple intelligences and the 7 kinds of smart. So both of those, look for activities. Oh, I love it. Thank you for being in the session. Thank you. And thank you for teaching our little ones. Yeah, we didn't learn this as we were growing. Excuse me, my generation. I believe I'm the most senior present here. that in my generation, we didn't learn these. That's why, too, when I came across this material, I'm thinking, we need to know this so that we can have more influence and inspire at very authentic levels. So, Maggie, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cheryl, for your answer. I'll look up the books. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Anyone else?
Is it Robin? Yes.
Right.
Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. Thank you, Cheryl, for sharing so much from Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences. Of course, all of these have thoroughly researched and they're apt and applicable. My question to you, Cheryl, is people are essentially predisposed to a particular trait. Say, the bulk of the world, I'm just making a general guess here, bulk of the world is visual. So if we go into a room and if we address that visual need, chances are you make the grade. Chances are. It's just a guesstimate, right? But of
Mhm.
course, you can read up whether that is so by looking at the audience, if they're well dressed, they pay particular attention to presentation, all the things, then you can say they are more predisposed to visual. Now, if you look at the 8 traits going along, which has the least, so that we not really bother about it unless it's confirmed, just to play safe.
Well,
Because
thank you.
sometimes
For
you
me,
don't have an idea what kind of crowd you're going into.
right.
So you just address the major and leave the rest out. So how
Well,
would you apportion
well, and
if
thank
there
you.
is
So
a percentage for that?
for me of these
Any
7,
study on that done?
yes, for me of these 7, it was mathematical was my least preferred for me. So it might be that you find in which area would be good for you to improve so that you are well-rounded regardless of. We do our preconceived notions, and if we are visual, but what happens if they are not, if they are visually challenged or blind, then that assumption is not true. Whereas my fellow accredited speaker, world champion, Dana Lamont, blind, accident in his youth, and yet he was still able to describe, I mean, in great detail, world champion of his storytelling because he brought in more linguistics and the musical, the vocal variety of the tone of his voice. So for me, the journey was see which one of these is my weakest so that I can connect with those listeners, those people in those particular channel that it's important to them. Play around with this, kind of explore it. When I learned this information, it also helped me with my parents because my parents were very different. And I was able to be between and understand what they were talking about or where they were missing the mark too. And I think, Madam Toastmaster, we are complete with our time on that. Thank you. Thank you very much for your questions, your conversations, and the thought process. Continue with this passport to your public speaking. And please use the worksheet to prepare for your presentations. And really, it will change relationships. It will expand your influence with others. Genuinely. It's been my pleasure to serve you. Thank you, World Travelers. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you again, Cheryl. Now I will hand over to our coordinator, Uniati. Please.
Thank you, Cheryl, for inspiring and impactful learning how to connect with anyone. Now we would like to present the certificate of appreciation. Okay, please, Eliza, take the pictures for us. Okay.
Please give me a moment. I don't know what happened. I cannot see Cheryl in here.
Oh,
Give me a moment. Okay. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you, Cheryl. We appreciate your learning. And I think I'm intrapersonal. I still need to digest how to practice it. Even somebody give me joke, I have to digest until tomorrow. I know. It's really bad. That's why we need speechcraft like this, where we learn and how we able to practice in our speech, even in our daily life.
We take
Tamami,
picture.
back to you.
Let's take a picture, group picture. Everyone, please on your camera. Yeah, everyone on your camera for a while. Traka, if you can on your camera. Sinhui. Ina and Selming, Carla, all, please don't be shy. We are a Toastmaster. On your camera. Hello, Kuya Ardi. We have Grace from Saudi Arabia. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, smile. Okay, another page. Give me a moment. Give me a moment, give me a moment, give me a moment. Okay, another page. Okay, smile. Okay, then. Thank you very much. Okay, back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much. Now we are coming to the closing session. Is that? And we will continue with the practice meeting.
Thank you,
Yep.
Madam Toastmasters. Dear friend, give your emoji, heart emoji or clap emoji as appreciation. You already learned something from this lesson. Yeah, or thumbs up. Give your thumbs up. I'm sure we all learn how to use this learning 7 secret. This is secret. Let us use the secret. So I remember few years ago, I went to a Royal Caribbean cruise with Eliza, and I learned something about Eliza. On the cruise, I love to do a lot of activities. I want to go every single activities, go dancing, go singing, go every single event. But Eliza, no, she want to meet everyone, and she connect with everyone. She make friends. That's what I admire about her. And this lesson today, it's also help us, that give our open our horizon, that we need to connect with others, how as a speaker we able to meet their need, and we able to give what they need, then we can give influence and inspire them. And like Sarah said, it's not only in Toastmasters, but how we apply it in our daily life or in our work. So congratulations everyone for learning this lesson, and it's time for us to practice it. Practice, practice, and practice to make it better. So by this, the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye. And for speech crafter, you may stay. For you, you have given opportunity 30 minutes to practice what you already learned from week 1 and week 2.
I think we have only 2. Surya and Sinhui. And also Anselme. Okay, give a speech. Thank you very much, Sheryl.
Thank you very much, Sheryl.
Thank you, Sheryl. Is Faisal here?
No.
So who will start how to practice with your speech, and then we will give evaluation or feedbacks, round robin feedbacks.
3 to 5 minutes,
Who
right?
will start? 3 to 5 minutes.
Jasmine, ready? Jasmine. Yeah. Surya want to give a 3 to 5 minutes?
I'm
3
not
to 5.
prepared yet.